Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk to Anne Goodspeed, who is a practitioner, facilitator at the Dark Moon Goddess Retreat. And Anne is, like, for my family, the first stop. If somebody in my family gets sick, we go to Anne so that she can work the magic for physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing work. So, Anne, hello.
Hi, Christina. Hi, April.
So,
Oh,
Anne, we met a long time ago, and it's been such a fun journey getting to know you better. And before we even got on air here, this is the kind of person that you are. So April has really been suffering with some of this winter, like, yuck that's going around with the cough and everything. And April started coughing, and Anne says, "Ooh, April, can I just do a little bit of work on you to help you with that?" And that's just the kind of person that Anne is.
I know
So
she really is, and it's so wonderful. And I thank you so much because I'm like, yes, I. It's funny as a mom or as a just human being how you don't think to take care of yourself first. So I love having some mamas around me that are like, hey, let's make sure that you're getting taken care of. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So, Anne, tell us a little bit about your work and about what the Dark Moon Goddesses who come to the Dark Moon Goddess Retreat receive from you.
Well, as a facilitator for the Dark Moon Goddess Retreat, which Christina has beautifully created and has attracted amazing women who have come, and my role is really beforehand. I offer a free heart wall removal, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But the process of connecting with these women before they get there has really just in me personally getting to know them before I meet these people who maybe I don't know yet. Um, and to just highlight their gifts, understand maybe what their struggles are, just to kind of highlight what might be really helpful for them at the retreat, and to encourage them to share and express where maybe they're holding back a little bit. The Heartwall Removal itself, the work, I've been certified under the hand of Dr. Bradley Nelson, and the Heartwall Removal is one of the most powerful processes or sessions that are offered through his work. The understanding of the Heartwall Removal can be a little bit complex, but just to summarize, if you find yourself at any time during your life where you are about to experience heartache or heartbreak, energetically, subconsciously, you're going to protect that heart. And you use an energy or an emotion, the energy of that emotion that you may be feeling, to, to shield it so that it doesn't break. And over time, the weight of that wall that you create can become quite heavy. And so when we go in and focus on those energies and those emotions that have been stored and trapped, we just can identify through muscle testing, kinesiology, what those were, the time of the event, and just the awareness of that event and the choosing to just allow that to be released and removed from the chest. The most beautiful thing to, I try and remember to ask people how much strain or pressure they have in their neck and shoulders before we start. And it's super fun to have them say it might be a 7, and especially women, we carry so much just tension up here. And as we release that, if you can imagine those muscles and tendons and ligaments that are carrying that weight, that gives you that feel, that just that tension. And as we go through and release the weight around the heart, it's so fascinating to see these women, men too, but just to see them just like throw their shoulders back and ask them, okay, how would you rate that tension? And often it completely goes away. It's just it's just empowering for them, validating really, to recognize that this is, and the lightness they feel. And there's so many more things like the abundance, the relationships, just the emotional mental strain, because as we know, our heart is so connected to every other part, all the meridians and all the glands in the brain and just the digestive process, the hormones, like all of it. And so just starting with the energy around the heart can create this ripple effect of healing in all aspects of the body. So that's what I offer for those people who choose to come and attend. That's part of just something that we do. And then as a result, there's some more that I offer that might be interesting and may come up in that session while we're sitting together that may even be more important that we touch on before we get to that energy around the heart. So I know that was a lot. Any questions?
That was really beautiful. And one of the things that I want to say is one of the things that I think is super unique about the Dark Moon Goddess Retreat is what happens before we even get to the space to prepare each and every goddess for that. So one of the things is this heart wall removal, so that you come in already having talked to Anne, already having experienced this energy work that prepares you in every way to be more open to receiving all the goodness and the shifts and the transformation of the Dark Moon Goddess and retreat. And when you were talking, I just had this vision of myself. So this is great for very serious trauma, but it's also those micro traumas that we have as a child. And when you were talking about that, I had this vision of myself as this very young child, like 4 or 5, like really, really young, and asking for something. I wanted something, and I knew that the answer would be no. But I was going to ask anyway, but I was scared of asking because I was afraid of having my little 4 or 5-year-old heart broken asking for this thing that I really wanted. And it just came to my mind, I think, because a heart wall went up around asking for what I want or being afraid that the answer will be no, so I don't even ask. And this has to do with some of the personal work that I'm doing. And this is the kind of thing that Anne, in her training and in her deep and multi-year experience, can do, is remove that so that I can be more open to asking for what I want and not protecting myself from that 4 or 5-year-old little girl place for the disappointment and feeling of rejection or unworthiness or whatever it might be of that answer of no. So I've experienced this work deeply. April, what has been your experience with Anne? Because you've experienced this as well.
Yes. Excuse me. I got to meet Anne actually at the first retreat that we ever did. And there was just so much like, I just was in awe of Anne and how she was able to come in and to connect with each person on such a personal level. And so she really does create this sense of friendship of like, so really what's so great about having an appointment with Anne is that beforehand is you get to come in already with a friend. And so even if you come by yourself, it's like everyone knows Anne, and Anne is willing to be everyone's best friend. And so it feels already so good. And my experience with the heart wall, oh my gosh. Sorry, I was trying to
finally talk to April, just saying, because Anne's going to do some work on that.
Yes. I think it's trying to prove that my cough needs some help. So anyway, I was able to experience the heart wall removal as well, which was actually really profound. And the notes that I took in it, I actually took in my journal because it felt so important. It felt like information that I really needed. And it was like almost like taking a veil off some of the memories, some of the information, some of the like space that I kind of buried really deep. And so that was super cool. And then throughout the retreat, Anne does some other work too. And I was in a conversation and a session with her. Well, it wasn't really a session, it was more like a conversation. I was literally making dinner, and Anna's sitting there chatting with me, doing some muscle testing, and we're working through this. I have this rash on my forehead that she was able to give me some emotional insight into what was going on with this physical ailment. And that has been actually very profound as well. So seriously, it's the most profound things in the most like subtle ways. So it's like almost like it's up on you, like, wait, I need to remember that. I need to know that. So I love it.
Super good. And what has been, in your experience, one of the most profound shifts or healings that you have experienced with people doing a heart wall removal?
Oh boy, there's been many. First, I'll just speak to my own healing process. Oftentimes, I find myself thinking, could it really be this simple? And sometimes I find myself in doubt. But even though, and I don't ever want to come across as it's me that's doing the healing. Each of the people I connect with, I'm just a conduit. I'm just connected to their soul selves. My soul's connected to theirs. I'm just asking the simple questions and I'm receiving the answers. I call in my guides, their guides. So there's this team of healers that are just, and I'm just the interpreter, I guess you could say, for all of it. So and to give kudos to Dr. Bradley Nelson and the training and the magic that he was downloaded and the power of this process. I've actually asked Christina to share a link in this where anybody who wants to learn more about the power of the Heartwall removal, he does a beautiful little 5-minute excerpt on his work. So you might find more information about that. But as far as feedback from others, I was mentioning to Christina just recently that the best payment for me is feedback. Like I could do this. I do this for free often, but and the feedback I get from people is the most rewarding. It's not work for me. It's pure joy. I love helping others in this fashion. But I have had a pretty profound feedback recently from a recent person I met at an event that we shared in earlier this spring called Yin on Fire, which I highly recommend you all look into that eventually. And it was the daughter of a mother who was struggling with some addiction, and she had just heard back from her mom. She spent time with her last night, and there was some was just sharing that she wasn't experiencing any desire to drink any longer. And she's like, I don't even know what it is. I can't figure it out. I just don't want to. And they got digging deeper about it. And they traced it back to the time that she and I had met. Her daughter had paid for her session. And it was just, I was like, really? Wow. And again, I'm just like often surprised. And that's really healing to me, because I'm just living in my purpose. I'm doing what I know I was designed to do. And it's just come simple for me, just being that conduit to others. And so I don't know, I get stories like this often, and it's validating that I'm on the right path. I'm doing what is meant to be done. And it's pure joy. So
good. So good. So you can see why Anne is on this team of facilitators at the Dark Moon Goddess, and the work done before gets you prepared for the retreat. And then Anne's there at the retreat continuing to offer all this service, this value. And one of the most deep and profound things that Anne offers is the compassion, the friendship, and just when you're in Anne's presence, you really feel like you're okay. Like you're just okay. You can be loved and accepted. You're worthy of the love and compassion. And Anne just exudes that. So she's great at what she does, and she is a beautiful being right there.
thank you. And shout out to both of you and your beautiful gifts and all that you share. You two are both amazing in your gifts that you share and the things you teach us. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited for anybody who chooses to join in with us again this time. This will be our 3rd retreat coming up here in March. And everybody who participates is learning from one another. in special different ways. And so I'm just honored to be a part of the team. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. I do have one last quick question for you. You're a facilitator at the Dark Moon Goddess Retreat, but you have now participated in 2 retreats. You personally, just by being there and what is offered at the retreat, what would you say is your biggest takeaway personally from what is offered at the retreat itself? So if somebody is wondering if it's for them, or they have every reason in the world not to come, what would be, from your personal experience, your invitation?
Oh, wow. Going away both times as I pull away from these retreats, they can be a lot. It's a lot that's going on for me personally. And I am in so much gratitude for the new deep friendships that are developed, for another soul being added to my tribe of goddess women, for the connections that we continue to maintain. I mean, here we are almost a year beyond our first retreat, and we're still connected to all these goddess women. And just to build that tribe, I think, is the most like-minded tribe, is the most impactful. There's such an epidemic of loneliness in the world right now, and people who struggle with ways to connect and really feel seen and heard. And for me, these retreats are the place to create and connect and really learn about yourself. And for sure, I do go away learning something in every little activity, every meal we sit down and share, every craft we create, just the songs we sing, just all of it just creates a deeper connection in every aspect. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Anne, for all you are, for all you be, for all you bring to these retreats. April and I deeply appreciate you and being part of our team in this Dark Moon Goddess Retreat, which I feel is part of my path and purpose in this lifetime as well.
Thank you. Such an honor to be in your tribe, both of you.
Thank you.
I feel that too.
So links to register, links to the video Anne was referring to are all in the comments. And thank you so much, Anne, for the Heartwall Removal and for letting us know a little bit more about that. And we invite everybody to join us at the Dark Moon Goddess Retreat.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. April, be well soon. I'll send you some info on that.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.